Hey everyone, and welcome back to Insects for Fun, the podcast where we explore the weird, wonderful, and downright jaw-dropping world of insects and their allies. Today, we're diving into a seriously underrated but massive insect, the Dobsonfly. With their enormous mandibles, dragon-like wings, and aquatic terror larvae known as hellgrammites, these creatures look like something out of a monster movie. But don't worry, they are not here to hurt you. They actually play a pretty cool role in freshwater ecosystems. So let's get into what they are, where they live, how they grow, and why they're so fascinating. Dobsonflies belong to the order Megaloptera, in the family Corydalidae. There are around 60 species of Dobsonflies known worldwide, with the majority found in the Americas and parts of East Asia. The most famous North American species is Corydalis cornutus, which you can find near streams and rivers from southern Canada all the way down to Mexico. The name Dobsonfly has unclear origins, but some entomologists speculate it may have originated in colonial America. No one really knows who Dobson was. Maybe a scientist, a fisherman, or just a guy with an unfortunate run-in with one of these on a camping trip. Their larvae are commonly known as hellgrammites, a name that sounds like a mix between a demon and a goblin. Totally fitting. So, where does the name hellgrammite come from? It's a classic case of American folk naming. The exact origin isn't nailed down, but it likely appeared in the 19th century among anglers in the Appalachian region. The hell part is probably due to their fearsome, almost demonic appearance, and their painful bite. The grammite part might be a distorted suffix, possibly inspired by scientific-sounding words or even regional slang for bugs or larvae. The name stuck thanks to how vividly it describes the creature's nightmarish vibe and its aggressive, wriggling behavior when hooked on a fishing line. So, Dobsonflies are among the largest aquatic insects in the world. Adults can measure up to 5 inches, or 12 centimeters in length, with wingspans stretching even wider. Their long, veined wings fold back over the body like a cape, and their intimidating mandibles differ by sex. Males have exaggerated tusk-like mandibles. They look like insect walruses, but despite their terrifying look, they can't actually bite hard. Females, on the other hand, have much shorter but more powerful jaws, and can give you a decent pinch if provoked. Adults are nocturnal and often attracted to lights. You might find one clinging to your porch or buzzing around a street lamp near a river or stream. But don't expect to see them every day. They only live for a few days to a week in their adult form. And with that, let's get into the life cycle. Dobsonflies spend the majority of their lives underwater as a hellgrammite. Females lay up to 1,000 eggs in gelatinous masses on overhanging vegetation or rocks near fresh water. The time it takes for eggs to hatch varies by environmental conditions, but usually it's done within 1 or 2 weeks. The eggs hatch exclusively at night, a behavior believed to help the vulnerable young avoid visual predators like birds and fish. The larvae, after hatching, are very tiny and crawl into the water, where they immediately begin hunting. These larvae live under rocks in clean, fast-flowing rivers and streams, and they're fierce predators with powerful jaws. They feed on small aquatic invertebrates like mayfly larvae, caddisflies, and even other hellgrammites if food is scarce. But what are the predators of hellgrammites? Well, these include fish like trout, bass, and sunfish, and amphibians like salamanders and frogs. But, surprisingly enough, other aquatic insects can feed on hellgrammites as well, like giant water bugs and predaceous diving beetles. This larval stage can last from 1 to 5 years, depending on temperature, food availability, and habitat conditions. And when they're ready to metamorphose, the mature larvae leave the water and crawl onto nearby land. They find moist, protected spots, such as under rocks, bark, or in burrows, to pupate. This stage lasts 1 to 2 weeks, during which they undergo a dramatic transformation. The adult Dobsonfly emerges in late spring to early summer. most often between May and July, particularly after warm rains when humidity is high. Adults don't feed and live just long enough, typically a few days to a week, to reproduce. They're also really sensitive to dry conditions, which is another reason why their adult emergence is often timed with high humidity or rain. Males usually emerge slightly earlier than females in a phenomenon known as protandry. This is a cool thing that's seen very commonly with insects. The reason is to increase their chances of finding mates. Now, I notice this all the time while raising giant silk moths. The first to emerge from cocoons, without fail, are the males. In fact, I just witnessed this again recently with my Samia cynthia. But let's get back to Dobsonflies. Okay, now let's talk about defense and courtship, because they actually are somewhat linked with Dobsonflies. You see, male Dobsonflies use their oversized mandibles not for hunting, but for courtship displays and battling other males. They might also gently grasp females during mating. Females, on the other hand, use their jaws for defense. Hellgrammites have some intense defenses of their own too, though. Not only can they bite, but Hellgrammites also have paired gill tufts along the abdomen, which allow them to breathe underwater, making them stealthy and long-lasting predators. Now, earlier at the beginning of the episode, I mentioned that these guys play a crucial role in freshwater ecosystems. So let's talk about that. Dobsonfly larvae are bioindicators. Because they require clean, well-oxygenated water, their presence in a stream signals a healthy ecosystem. So if you see Hellgrammites while flipping over rocks in a river, that's a good sign. They also play a major role in aquatic food webs by being both predators and prey. As larvae, they control populations of other aquatic insects, but they're also a favorite meal for fish like trout and bass, which I mentioned earlier, and panfish as well. And this actually makes Hellgrammites a popular choice for live bait among anglers. In Japan, related species in the family Corydalidae are known as Yamato sashi and are considered mysterious, almost mythical creatures by some local fishing communities due to their rare sightings and eerie appearance. The name combines Yamato, an old poetic term for Japan, with sashi, which means stabbing or piercing, referencing their huge mandibles and dramatic look. In the US, Hellgrammites specifically have a firm place in the culture of fly fishing and bait lore. Some folklore also associates Hellgrammites with warnings or omens, probably because they just look so unnatural. And this is going to wrap up this episode of Insects for Fun. I record, write, edit, and research all by myself, so any support like a 5-star review is incredibly appreciated. Be sure to share with friends if you think they'll dig what I do. And go flip a rock or two next time you're near a stream. You never know what ancient predator might be lurking there.